Hello students. So today we'll discuss about the salary income which is given under section 15, 16 and 17 of Income Tax Act 1961. Salary income. So first question arises in our head is what is salary? And before moving to the concept of salary, let's just understand its basic foundations. First is regarding the employer and employee relationship. So when the relationship between payer and pay is of employer and employee, then the income given by the payer to the pay is known as salary. So first is that the relationship between whosoever is paying the amount and the person who is receiving the amount is of the employer and employee. Then whatever the amount is paid, we say that it is a salary. Employer is a master and employee is a servant. It means master is the one which is giving the instructions, which is giving all the guidelines to the employee, and employee is a servant. It means he has to abide all the guidelines, all the instructions given by the master. So if master servant relationship is absent, then we say that income is not salary. So there should be a master and servant relationship. It should be an employer and employee relationship. Agar nahi hai, then it will be taxable under PGBP, that is profit and gains from business and professions, or as income from other sources, but not under the head of salary income. So suppose salary given by a partnership firm to partners. So whatever salary is given, there is no employer-employee relationship between the firms and the partners. So we say that it is not taxable as salary income, but it will be taxable under the head PGBP. Next example is teachers of DU colleges are employees of the colleges and not of DU. हम लोग अगर employees हैं तो we are the employees of our respective college. Since that जैसे मैं श्री वेंकटेश्वरा कॉलेज की employee हूँ, मैं दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी की employee नहीं हूँ. So whatever the amount received by us for setting question papers or for checking the answer sheets, it will be taxable as income from other sources and not as salary income, because Delhi University is not my employer. ठीक है, मेरा employer कौन है? College. So college जो मुझे amount देता है, that is my salary income, but whatever university is giving me, it is the income from other sources. Third example, fees received by members of parliament for attending parliament is taxable as income from other sources, not as salary income, because there is no employer in case of the members of parliament. These are being elected by the people of India. There is no employer, so the employer-employee relationship is absent, so it is not the salary income. Nominated directors of the company. Who are nominated directors? Sometimes what happens, in case the company has taken a loan, तो जो आपके बैंक्स और फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूट्स होते हैं, ये क्या होते हैं, ये अपने से एक नॉमिनी डायरेक्टर बनाते हैं, जो पर्सन उनके जब भी बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स की मीटिंग होती है उसमें वो आ जाता है, जस्ट टू सी, बिकॉज ही इज अ नॉमिनी डायरेक्टर, ही जस्ट सी वेदर द एक्शंस व्हिच आर टेकन in place during the meeting are not going to impact the loan or whatever the kind of interest payment or the repayment payment obligations, whatever is not being affected. तो वो लोग जानबूझ के एक नॉमिनी डायरेक्टर बनाते हैं जो वहां बैठ के बस ओवरसी करता है कि कोई भी जो बैंक या फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूट्स के रिगार्डिंग है उससे रिगार्डिंग कोई भी ऐसा एडवर्स एक्शन ना लिया जाए. तो ये जो नॉमिनेटेड डायरेक्टर्स होते हैं, जो नॉमिनी डायरेक्टर्स होते हैं, whatever fees received by them for attending the meetings, it is not taxable as salary income, but it will be taxable as income from other sources. Judges of High Court and Supreme Court are appointed under the Constitution of India and they have no employer, but whatever fees received by them is taxable as salary income. This is the only exception where income is taxable as salary even in the absence of employer-employee relationship. Judges के केस में ही सिर्फ एक exception है where there is no employer-employee relationship, still whatever the amount received by them is taxable under income from salary and not from other sources. इसके अलावा जिसमें रिलेशनशिप नहीं होता उसमें सैलरी इनकम नहीं होती, या तो वो पीजीबीपी में जाएगा या फिर अदर सोर्सेज में जाएगा. ओके, सो दिस इज क्लियर. The second important base is regarding the contract of services or contract for services. So contracts could be either oral contracts or written contracts. So if such contract is between employer and employee, then we say that contract is contract of service. Okay, so it is, the contract is made of all the service which is required by the employee to do in during his employment period. Okay, so whatever when the relationship is employer employee, so contract is known as contract of services, and in case the relationship is absent, we say that the contract is for services. So this you can understand with the help of an example. Mr. A is a doctor and is working in a government hospital. During emergency, he attends his patient at his private clinic. Now the doctor has employer-employee relationship with the government hospital, because the government hospital is the one who has employed that doctor, and therefore the amount received from government hospital will be taxable as salary income for the doctor, and the contract between him and the hospital is contract of services. The relationship between him and the patient is not employer-employee. Therefore, whatever amount is received from patients will be taxable as PGBP, and the contract will be called as contract for services. So, जो patients उसको दे रहे हैं, patients are not the one who have employed the doctor. Patients are just giving the service amount to the doctor. So, जो doctor जो patient से ले रहा है, it is not a salary income, rather it is a income of PGBP. ये उसके professional income है. So, PGBP में compute होगी, ना कि salary income में. और जो contract of services, जो contract होता है, this is contract for services and not contract of services. Then third is salary or wages. So if I would say income from under income from salary, it is conceptually not different. So whatever the remuneration received by an individual is taxable as salary income. It is immaterial whether the remuneration is termed as salary or wages. So question में चाहे salary लिखा हो चाहे wage लिखा हो, it doesn't matter. ये आपकी calculate होगी under the head income from salaries. Then salary from more than one source. So if an individual receives salary from more than one employer during the same previous year, it could be he has changed his employment. So अगर employment change होगा तो there could be another employer, या फिर he is simultaneously working with two employers in the same financial year, in the same previous year. This could happen in case he is on contractual basis or he is just providing the guest services. तो उस case में he could have more than one employer. But legally if I would say, if full time अगर कोई employee काम कर रहा है, तो it is not it is illegal if he is doing under two employers. Full time could happen only with one employer at one time. दो के साथ simultaneously नहीं हो सकता. But in other cases it can happen. For example, your guest services or so on. उस case में it could happen. So अगर ऐसा कुछ हो रहा है from more than one source है, तो it could be computed under the head income from salaries. Then salary from former, present or prospective employer. So whatever remuneration you have received or due during the previous year is chargeable to tax under the head salaries, irrespective of the fact whether it is received from your previous employer or it is from your present employer or from your prospective employer in which you are just about to join. ठीक है, काफी बार क्या होता है, ज्वाइनिंग बोनस देता है आपका प्रोस्पेक्टिव एम्प्लॉयर. काफी बार होता है कि वो ये बोलता है कि आप जल्दी से अपनी प्रेजेंट कंपनी छोड़ दो, हम आप लोगों को बाय आउट के लिए पैसे देंगे. क्योंकि क्या होता है, आप लोग जब सर्विस करते हो तो आपका एक पीरियड होता है, जैसे 1 month 2 months, जो आपके पीरियड में आपको अपने सारे काम कंप्लीट करने होते हैं बिफोर लिविंग योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. और अगर आप नहीं काम करते और आप एकदम से रेजिग्नेशन लेते हो, तो यू हैव टू पे दैट अमाउंट बैक टू दी कंपनी, जैसे 1 month सैलरी या 2 month सैलरी. So sometimes what happens, your prospective employer, that is your new employer, is ready to pay out that amount. वो कहता है कि तुम बस छोड़ के हमारी कंपनी में आ जाओ. We are ready to pay whatever amount you have to pay to the company because you are leaving so early and you are not completing your all work before leaving your present company. So अगर कुछ भी prospective employer से आता है तो that is also added. चाहे अब आपका किसी से भी आए, it will be considered as your income under the head salaries. Then foregoing of salary. So this is योर सेक्शन 15 टॉक्स अबाउट, या अभी हम लेटर ऑन भी आएंगे, सेक्शन 15 प्रोवाइड्स द बेसिस ऑफ चार्ज इन विच योर सैलरी इज टैक्सेबल on due basis or receipt basis, on due or receipt whichever is earlier. This is your section 15. So इस केस में क्या कहता है वो कि आपकी सैलरी अगर ड्यू पहले होती है तो आपकी पहले ही चार्जेबल हो जाती है. तो जैसे ही ड्यू बेसिस पे अगर हो रही है, भले ही वो रिसीव्ड हो या ना हो, आपकी वो टैक्स में जाएगी. फोरगोइंग का क्या मतलब होता है? काफी बार क्या होता है कि आपका जो एम्प्लॉय है वो उसको फोरगो कर देता है, वो वेव ऑफ कर देता है कि मैं नहीं लूंगा ये सैलरी. वो खुद से वॉलेंटरी बेसिस पे कर देता है वेव ऑफ. तो अगर वो ऐसा वेव ऑफ कर देता है तो ऐसा नहीं है कि वो जो वेव ऑफ अमाउंट है दैट विल बी एग्जेम्प्टेड फ्रॉम हिज टैक्स लायबिलिटी. ऐसा नहीं होगा, भले ही वो फोरगो कर रहा है, बट जब ड्यू हुई थी आपकी सैलरी तब ही इट शुड बी एडेड इन योर टैक्स लायबिलिटी. भले ही आप रिसीव करो, भले ही आप रिसीव मत करो, भले ही आपका एम्प्लॉयर दे, भले ही आपका एम्प्लॉयर ना दे, डजंट मैटर. ड्यू बेसिस पे ही आपकी जो सैलरी इनकम है वो आपकी टैक्स लायबिलिटी में ऐड हो जाती है. क्योंकि वेवर और फॉरगो करना, इट इज मेयरली एन एप्लीकेशन ऑफ इनकम एंड इट इज नॉट रिलेटेड टू द चार्जेबल टू टैक्स. आपकी इनकम है, चाहे आप फॉरगो करो चाहे आप मत करो, बट आपका ड्यू है, आप उस टाइम पे उस ड्यू बेसिस पे यू आर लाइबल टू पे द टैक्स. Salary is paid tax free. Sometimes what happens, your employer is paying you the tax free salary. Tax free salary क्या होता है? जो भी आपका टैक्स डिडक्ट होना होता है वो टैक्स डिडक्ट करके आपको सैलरी देता है. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल टीडीएस इज अ डिफरेंट थिंग. टीडीएस में क्या होता है, वो मुझे नेट, मेरा जैसे पैकेज था फॉर एग्जाम्पल 10 lakhs पर मंथ मेरी सैलरी थी फॉर एग्जाम्पल 85,000, उसमें से वो मुझे सैलरी डिडक्ट करके मेरे को 75,000 रुपीज दे रहा है. ठीक है, टैक्स डिडक्ट करके. तो वो टैक्स मेरा गवर्नमेंट को जा रहा है, वो मुझे टैक्स फ्री अमाउंट नहीं दे रहा है. समटाइम्स व्हाट हैपेंस, एम्प्लॉयर पूरा का पूरा 85,000 ही देता है. कहता है जो आपका ऊपर का टैक्स है ना वो हम अपने आप देख लेंगे, हम अपने आप पे कर लेंगे, हम आपको पूरा का पूरा अमाउंट दे रहे हैं 85,000. अगर कोई ऐसा केस होता है जिसमें एम्प्लॉय को टैक्स फ्री सैलरी पे करी जाती है तो उसमें एम्प्लॉयर की ड्यूटी है कि वो क्या करे, जो रिसीव हो रहा है टैक्स प्लस whatever tax is being paid by the employer on his behalf, वो सब ऐड होगा और उसके बाद वो जो टैक्स पे कर दिया वो आपका ऑटोमेटिकली वहां पे आ जाएगा कि योर एम्प्लॉयर हैज पेड दैट मच टैक्स. तो आपको जो सैलरी 85,000 पर मंथ मिली थी वो पूरी की पूरी आपको फ्री हो जाएगी. दैट इज टैक्स फ्री, क्योंकि आपको तो टैक्स पे करना ही नहीं है और आपकी जो कंपनी थी वो ऑलरेडी टैक्स पे करके वो दे रही है. ठीक है, तो वो टैक्स फ्री का कंसेप्ट हो जाता है. आपको हमेशा अपने दिमाग में रखना है कि सैलरी भले ही टैक्स फ्री हो चाहे टैक्स हो, हमें हमेशा टैक्स के साथ उसको कंप्यूटेशन दिखानी है. अपनी जो टैक्सेबल इनकम की कंप्यूटेशन है उसमें हमें टैक्स हमेशा जोड़कर दिखाना है. उसके बाद जब ग्रॉस सैलरी आ जाएगी उसके बाद जो टैक्स बनेगा वो टैक्स हम उस टाइम दोबारा हम दिखाएंगे कि ये हमारा टैक्स पे हो गया. ठीक है, तो इट डजंट मेक एनी डिफरेंस whether the tax is paid under terms of contract by the employer or it is voluntary. ठीक है, it will not make any difference. आपको हमेशा टैक्स इंक्लूसिव रखना है अपनी टैक्सेबल इनकम में. जब तक आपकी ग्रॉस सैलरी कैलकुलेट हो रही है सब कुछ आप इंक्लूसिव रखोगे. उसके बाद टैक्स पेमेंट के टाइम पे आपने जितना टैक्स आपके एम्प्लॉयर ने अपनी मर्जी से जितना उसने पे कर दिया है वो वहां पे डिडक्ट हो जाएगा. तो इन शॉर्ट आप पे कोई बर्डन नहीं आएगा, बट दिस इज हाउ यू हैव टू शो इट टू द अथॉरिटीज. Okay, then salary given under section 17 subsection 1, your salary includes the following: wages, any annuity or pension, any gratuity, any fee, commission, perquisites or profit in lieu of or in addition to any salary or wages, any advance of salary, any payment received by an employee in respect of any period of leave not availed by him, the portion of the annual accretion in any previous year to the balance at the credit of an employee participating in a recognized provident fund to the extent it is not taxable, transfer balance in a recognized provident fund to the extent it is taxable, the contribution made by the central government or any other employer in the previous year to the account of an employee under a notified pension scheme referred to in section 80CC. I have just read out all the points. You can just read them as well, but when we do the questions on salary, each part will be discussed in details. So just wait for the right time. I'll make separate videos for each of them. You can just